And coming into you just after midday on the CST, and of course, a little bit. I'm only going to come in just for a little bit. Just coming into you a little bit after midday, and it's well into afternoon, of course, on the EST. So just had just a you know just a couple of thoughts. I've been kind of chewing on the economy a little bit, and of course, we are in the holiday season, so I'm sure that the break is much needed and deserved, um, because breaks give us comfort and relief from our daily grinds. Hello, realize. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So I just want to say that I did get into a couple of reports, um, just a couple of reports that came out of. I think that we have some reports out of Zero Hedge, a couple of reports out of Zero Hedge, as well as maybe hinging a little bit on Market Watch. Market Watch. So I guess what we're going to talk about just a little bit is what they're seeing already in the markets, and what the people already have a response. It looks like we have a few organizations that are planning on having a mass blackout the November 25th through the Cyber Monday. So that would take you all the way through December 2nd, is what this mass blackout would do. So I don't know if you guys, whether you guys are celebrating, or whether you're just taking the time to spend it with your family or your closest friends. Do what you need to do. Um, yeah, so I will tell you that the biggest trend that I'm seeing, and this one came out of Zero Hedge, was like the consumer squeeze is real, and I think that's why to so many Americans, that most people, the common man could have really used a $2,000, or at least, what is that? Are they saying at least a $2,000 tariff dividend? Hi, Derek C. Williams. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for going on. Blacks in protest are like oil and water. Well, hey, I some people think that that's their market. So we'll see. But here again, that mass blackout is planned for November 25th through December 2nd. So that's what's there. So I appreciate you guys so much for coming in and loving on a like button on a hump day, on a Wednesday. I appreciate that so much. So according to the Zero Hedge, it looks like due to the consumer squeeze, I think they're attributing some of the signaling to consumers really trading down on their expectations for shopping. Okay, so places like TJ Maxx, looks like TJ Maxx sales beat out expectations on the in the for the third quarter, and it actually kind of surpassed the $15.1 billion. And the fourth quarter has started off pretty strong. So, I've said this for a while. A lot of those upper middle class people have even pared down to places like Target, and they're shopping in Targets now. They're shopping in Walmart now. They're shopping at your Rosses, your your TJ Maxx, Home Goods, your Marshalls. They're looking for those deals too, because the money is not going as far. Okay, I don't need to be Columbo to see that you've got a rise in one regard. You got some people backing away from Target. The lower middle class is probably coming away from Target, and they're going to places like Amazon. But you also have that upper middle class that are, Target might be the sweet spot for them. So it just depends on where you are in the bubble. Okay, just saying, in your shoppers bubble, or where you are in your discretionary income. And people are tightening their belts. They have less of that discretionary funds, because most of it is going to gas, food, electricity, these communications utilities, which are steadily on the rise. Let me read some comments here. Derek C. Williams says, they tried it with Target, and all Derek saw was black people working and shopping. Good luck. But see, you see, they organize these things allegedly, and which a lot of the old schools or the old heads say these people this generation don't even really know how to organize. They really don't even know how to protest. If you ask them, if you ask any of the old heads, that what are they doing? They say they're completely out of touch. They don't know how to organize, and they don't actually know how to protest properly. Now I've heard that before, but according to this, the off-price chains are looking pretty good to the the upper middle class, and so far on. Natrona, check your own DNA. Are you a biological something? So, what a demon. These demons, they come in here all the time, and that's what they do. When they can't get you, when the enemy can't get you, he'll send a demon. Okay, so thank you so much, Derek, for disposing of the demon there. Get demons. So Derek C. Williams says, and shout out again to you, Realize. Thank you so much for coming in. Derek C. Williams says, Jamal Bryant is an idiot, and the same is true with the myopic blacks that follow him. Shaniqua needs a stroller. Question, where will she get it from? Ay. Derek C. Williams says, there are no black equivalents to a Walgreens, Longhorn Steakhouse, or say a Jefferson Health System here in Philadelphia. Good luck. Gotcha. Yeah, well, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure where people shop these days. In the larger cities, I'm not sure where they shop. I mean, I think in some place, like say for instance in San Diego, some people would go down as far to, like, they go to Calexico, or they go down to, they try to go someplace and find a deal. And you'd have some shops that are, like a body shop or like an off-name type of boutique or store that you might find some people in. But right now, I'm not sure where anybody's shopping, if anybody's doing a lot of shopping at all. Because I find that Amazon and some of these places, some of their prices are not. I think Amazon's prices are, they've kind of cornered the market as well. Thank you guys so much for coming in and loving the like button. Realize says, I consider these entities not human, wicked, evil devils sent from the pits of hell. Yes. That is what I am on about. Exactly what I'm on about. Derek C. Williams says, Derek has shares in Amazon's. I was just in Target on Ford Road in Philadelphia. Hundreds of blacks, or they're spending their black dollars. There you go, Derek C. Williams. There you go. So I guess that's what we can look forward to seeing. So this is Veda Goddess. I am a diabolical, go to heaven, you whiny Christians. We want the earth for ourselves. Okay, Veda Goddess. Thank you guys so much for coming in. If you are in the background, I appreciate you for considering coming in today. So we're just talking a little bit about the economy and what we're already seeing and what things are actually expected. There's some mass blackout protests planned, but who knows? These are all the things they're saying. They're saying, of course, to avoid places like Amazon, Target, Home Depot, and this, according to Facebook, the places that have organized these are the People's Union USA, Black Voters Matter, the People's Sick Day, American Opposition, Money Out of Politics, and then the Progress Movement, or the Progressive Movement. Those are some of the organizations that are allegedly behind the organization of this mass blackout. And they're encouraging people to avoid major retailers, as well as to support, they're saying that the Small Business Day is November 30th. They're saying go out and support your small businesses on November 30th. Also avoid the fast food, which to me, these are things that we should probably be avoiding anyway. Derek C. Williams says, now, if blacks incorporated the cooperative economic, perhaps blacks wouldn't have to beg whites for respect. And then Derek C. Williams says, perhaps doing for self like the Asians, Jews, and Latinos do, blacks wouldn't look so childish and weak for begging. Well, I have said this many times, and I'm very serious about this. I think that the blacks, or even those from even generations, a couple of generations past, I think they gave up a lot of their industry, their craft they gave up a lot of their craft for, dare I say, pieces of paper that hang on the wall that we call degrees, or that we refer to as, we have that, but then after that, you can't, what can we produce? Can we produce ideas? Yes. Can we develop ideas? Yes. But what do we need for sustainability, for greater sustainability? We still need to be good with our hands. We still need to be able to produce things. We still need to be able to care for things. We still need to be able to control. We need to be able to manage what we put in our bodies. It's not my generation, but the generations prior to me, they knew how to do, they had everything, they could process things here, but they could also do this. In fact, in a course of a day, they had to use what was up top, and they also had to use these. So both of those were engaged, they were actively engaged all the time. Head to, they had to use everything, use both sides of the brain. But I don't think I think we've given up a lot of things for street signs, museums, holidays that everybody in the country celebrates. Just idolatry style symbolism, empty, weak. I don't consider that progress. Just saying. And I don't know if they'll tag me for this, but who was it Candace Owens that said that what do they give you? They give you a street name, or they give you something and then you're done. Like, all of your leaders have that same, hang on just a second, have that same kind of profile, right? All right, guys, sorry about that. So I think most of our leaders were assigned, or they were selected, and they'd already determined their altitude. So I just, speaking of that, I'm hearing reports about, is it the Reverend Jesse Jackson his situation is more critical than perhaps the mass media wants to admit at this point. I'm telling you, I don't think we need any more. We don't need any more front loaded kind of heroes. We don't need that. Right? To me, that's not progress either. We don't need to wait on a leader to save anybody. I think that was a big mistake. Because what happens when your martyr dies? What do they do? In the Black community, they don't have somebody step up and say, hey, I'm taking the reins, or here, this is our path forward, or what is your actual plan? No, I don't see that. They didn't see that. They didn't witness that. Okay, but I just think that model of so-called progressivism, that as they say, that's not it. That wasn't it. I just think that sometimes, just because it's easier to take directions, than it is to lead, or to I'm just saying, it's people more comfortable. They don't want to lead. They just want to be, they're going to sit back, lay back, and be passive. Let's see. Derek Suim says, perhaps, let me keep going here. It says, King and integration killed the Black business model. Everyone on earth knows this. Can't imagine why Blacks, by and large, don't lead with this fact as it relates to that protest hoopla. Yes, I agree. I agree. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Anarchy Television's here. Anarchy. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. We're just chewing a little bit on what's being reported in terms of the economy, sales. We had a couple of things from Zero Hedge. We had a liner from Zero Hedge, and it was concerning TJ Maxx, some of the actual off price chains seeing, they're exceeding expectations due to the consumer squeeze, and that was the first piece that we were kind of on about. And then I think Target is probably not going to, I don't know. I think some demographics are probably going to go away from Target. I just think Target has just been a little bit, dare I say, some people might say Target was were they pretty woke back during, if you want to call it that, COVID? Were they woke back then? And what did that wokeism actually yield them? I can't say that I'm just not sure about all of that. Thank you guys so much for coming in here, loving on the like button. And like I said, we had somebody coming in yesterday that said that they found this particular stream on Craigslist. So, hey, I'm going to start a whole movement in which we go on and we post on Craigslist and see what that brings. Craigslist, make Craigslist great again. And I even said on the, let's make the note cards, the 3x5 cards, great again in this season. So yeah, so we talked about that a little bit. I think we've touched a little bit on digital ID, but I'm not sure what are they going to link that to first. That I'm not sure about. So Cyber Monday, so your mass blackout is scheduled for November 25th through December 2nd. That's all the way through your Cyber Monday. So if you're going to go out here, as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, I think these big box stores, I think every year they move the sale further and further up. I think the sale is not limited to Black Friday. I think a lot of them they're already trying to cash in. Like, oh, Black Friday starts right now. So Black Friday's already started, in my humble opinion. Black Friday's not going to start the day after. It's already started, because you have your Amazon deals. They even have to me, Black Friday is a season right about. It's been a season for a while, because Black Friday, I mean, Amazon has its own Amazon Day. And Amazon actually, assigns an Amazon Day to its people that have the subscriptions. So Black Friday is not just relegated to holidays anymore. I think they created a culture of Black Friday. They've created a Amazon Day to kind of try to recover, or I guess to bring them back into the black for whatever quarter that they're in. And they can run those same specials any season, any part of the quarter, any quarter they want. They don't have to try to make a big bang on the fourth quarter. Amazon can roll it out, and I think Walmart has mimicked them. Do we have a Walmart Day and an Amazon Day? They pretty much, you have to go into your account and see what is your designated Amazon Day. So they're going to try to recover that. And then I think, shout out to Derek C. Williams, I think it's a little bit hypocrisy. It's the same people that are out here that are telling you not to go out here and shop. They're going out to shop themselves. And then they're also going to go out and eat that same. They'll be in the drive-thrus and their favorite chains or whatnot. They'll be in their favorite chains and their favorite drive-thrus on Black Friday. They'll be there. But they want to see, I think they're trying to see who they can get to come out for it. But I'm not sure about these people being serious about this stuff. No, I don't. I think I saw someone make a comment the other day about how, that's what I think they've already been making comments about what they're seeing. The spending hasn't actually slowed. People are in lines. People are packing out restaurants. People are spending money. Whatever money they have, they're spending it. Derek C. Williams says, Derek loves being black, but I also like a sale. Guess what Derek is going to do during that time? Derek C. Williams says, it's all a scam, but blacks acting self-righteous over nonsense. It's worse in my estimation. Placent Pirate. Oh my gosh, Placenta Pirate? This Placenta Pirate says if Black Friday didn't give you like really cheap deals, y'all would be saying it's racist at etc. cause it's Black Friday. LMAF. Who are y'all? Who you talking about? Who are y'all? I think you got the wrong brand. Because y'all does not exist in here. I wouldn't pull the race card. I don't need to. Black men, black women are respectable, in my opinion. Well, I'm not the one to I don't need to put color on everything. You can find hey, you got derelicts in every group of people. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not one of these people that, you don't need to talk welfare queens to me. I don't need a lecture on any of that. I don't need anybody to treat me like a little Fabergé egg and rock me. I don't need that either. Some of us can stand on our own. So just, get it straight. Don't shellac everybody. You couldn't find a big enough brush to paint to cover everybody. You just can't. It's not possible. Just like we can't be represented by 500 people in 500 plus people in Congress. You certainly can't. You can't. One opinion can certainly not cover. There's too much diversity in thought. It's just way too much. I mean, I find that to be, that's a cop out. That's a cop out. That's I mean, this isn't the B Tatum show. It's not the ABL show either. It is what it is, and it's not what it's not. So just treat everybody like an individual. That'll be a better. That'll work out. That'll be a little bit better. Derek C. Williams says, pirate, that's acceptable to me. However, as the hostess says, there are bums in all cultures. Yeah, well, hey, I already know. You have prejudice or bias amongst dark Latinos, lighter skinned Latinos. I know that because I have Latino friends, and I know that there are people in Colombia that are just as dark as me or darker than me. And, but nobody's the same, and every culture has its own bias. I don't do the brown paper bag from the 1950s when I'm dealing with black people. No, I don't. But do we do it to ourselves? Yes, we do. Yes, it's been done before. But I just love it how everybody comes in. I love how other people try to tell other people who they are and what triggers them. I love that. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Let's keep moving here. Let's see. Flying Guillotine says, oop, ABL with the... Well, you know what? Here's the thing. It's profitable for them to do what they do. I get it. To me, it's about $1. It is. But I'm just saying, just because a black person or a person that appears to be black, or you might drop them in that category, doesn't mean that they shouldn't be dropped into a little bucket so that people can feel comfortable about engaging with them and having a conversation. I find that people just need because they don't know how to take you. They just get so uncomfortable and they can't help themselves. That's what and to me, that's the bias. That's the bias that nobody wants to deal with. Just treat people with dignity and respect. No matter what they look like, it doesn't matter. And you're not going to manufacture people like the Brave New World. like me, Derek C. Williams, or anybody else that comes in here, or realize, just, like I said, just keep an open mind. You'll be even more surprised at what you might find. Fred Chambers 7030. No, it's no problem. Fred Chambers 7030. I had an extra window today, and that's why I didn't come in. I needed to get on the road like earlier this morning. So I didn't quite come in. So this is kind of like my part one of the day, or at least it might be the one of the day. So that's it. Anarchy Television says it's unfortunate that the only color that really matters in this world today is gold and green. You got that right, Anarchy Television 8445. And I'm going to be honest. I'm coming in with an anecdote. I've met people. There's only a very few people that I've actually met from social media, but I will tell you, it's more eye-opening to engage with people on a screen and then to meet them in person. Sometimes you find out that there's a little bit, you have a lot less in common with people than you actually think that you do. Like I said, I've met people on here that the only thing they could talk to me about at the end of the day, the only thing they could talk to me about was welfare queens. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting here and are you lecturing me about welfare queens? I mean, and then where do you get that from? Why would you think that would be an appropriate? I mean, he just kept hammering on and on and on and on and on. And I'm just thinking, I'm not really sure what your aim is. We can talk about the weather. We can talk about, many, many things. We can talk about travel. We can talk about many things. But I'm not going to sit here and just listen to somebody just kind of, drone on about freaking welfare queens. Do I know any welfare queens? I don't. But there at the same time, it was just it's inappropriate. Because if you keep droning on about it, if you keep gassing about it, then it becomes offensive, to me. I just, it doesn't apply to me. So at the same time, it's not going to be a stimulating conversation. It's looking like a one-sided conversation because you're the one that brought it up and you're the one that just keeps egging on and keep gassing on about it. And if you're not, everybody doesn't relate to things. It's not relatable. It's not a relatable topic to me just because I might share what appears a background, a skin color, or hair texture, or it's just bizarre. Let's see. Let's keep going on here. Derek C. Williams says, and those 9 people should be compensated for said harassment, but I think most know why folks typecast today. And let's see. Thank you guys so much for coming in and loving on the like button. That's what it takes around here. I will say that I find that's the most detrimental thing is when people don't know how to take people. And that could be, and when I say that, I mean, if you're an independent thinker, or if you form ideas of your own, a lot of people just don't quite know they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do. And to me, in their conversation just keeps getting more narrow and narrow and narrow and narrow. And, but unfortunately, those are the things that you discover, when you meet people, unfortunately, face to face. So the more they talk, the mask starts to slip. There's a lot of narcissistic people out there. A lot of narcissistic people. I appreciate you guys for coming in here, but I just want you guys to know that I value your guys' ideas. I value your opinions, but if it's not going to put us in a better place than we were, then it's kind of useless then, right? Are we just talking in circles? You gotta, it becomes a barrier. It really becomes a barrier. Let's see. Let's go back here. It says Derek C. Williams says Derek is black from Mississippi, gets no poorer of a state than that. I know no welfare, no welfare queens personally, but we do know whites and now illegal aliens get the lion's share of welfare in America. Thank you guys so much for loving on the like button. And Archie Television 8445 says, I definitely form my own opinions, and sometimes my opinions and my thoughts are not very popular. I got you. I got you. I got you. So, like I said, we all come from different walks of life, and that's the beauty. To me, that's been the beauty of, shout out to the class of COVID-19, shout out to the class of 20, and to the budding class. I do believe we have a budding class of 2026. And when I say that, I'm saying that, we were all on set. We were all locked down at the same time, and we were doing quite a few. We weren't doing Zooms. We weren't doing hey, we were getting together to just, we kept each other informed, and I think we survived a lot of that. Shout out to Derek C. Williams. Derek C. Williams always pays homage to that year, to subscribers, to ideas, to people that didn't make it this far. It's almost like, we end up somewhat celebrating ourselves for standing our ground and for doing our own research, no matter how many bots or how many demons came for us. We did our thing. Yeah, well, the dare I say, the effery fuels me. Shout out to Marcy T if she's within the sound of my voice. I was just, I'd love to talk about that C word, cancer. I'd love to talk about that, but I'm not sure if we're ready for that. Give me just one shake here. So, yeah. So, thank you guys for coming in here and loving on the like button. We are at a staggering 32 minutes with 10 likes and 5 people in the background. So, I appreciate you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. We're in the times right now. I think 2026 is going to 2026 is going to bring about some things that, it's going to bring about some new things. And make sure you're prepping and praying, and shout out to Mr. Roy Potter. He used to say, prep, pray, and stay out of the way. Make sure you've got what you need. And then also make sure you're not surrounding yourself by people that are going to be more of a hindrance than anything. Sequential Nomad 1583 says feast or famine 2026. I tell you what, The Economist magazine, I'm not sure if you guys saw that magazine where they had, I'll pull it up one day. They had grain, and inside the grain, like, shout out to Mr. Pearson that says, look at it, don't look at it. I mean, and I've looked at, if you look into things as a designer, that's important to do. Okay. The psychology of design, you have to look into things, but if you look into it, you would see that there were skulls within these grains, within these images of grain in The Economist. I can't remember which issue that was, but I covered it when it was fresh. But you could see there were grains, and they were predicting famine in that particular edition. As a matter of fact, The Economist has been prophetic in many ways. And I don't want to say prophetic. I don't think anybody's that prophetic. I just think that they're telling you what's getting ready to go down. So what is it? Wendy Webb? Is it Wendy Webb? I'll tell you guys, Global Research has a lot of great things. Cash control, lockdown, CBDC, digital IDs, biometric. Whitney Webb's, this geopolitical analysis is, it's about 22 minutes on YouTube. And she talks about the EIDs and what could be coming. So we'll see, because they have been speaking about it at the World Economic Forum. They want guardrails on content creation and social media and what people are allowed to say and do. And to me, e.g., they want accountability for what you say and do. Derek C. Williams, it's important for self-study. So many, quote, adults, end quote, act like children when it's time to say or do something. I don't come from that tradition. In Mississippi, we were taught to be who you claim you are. There you go. Here, Derek C. Williams, it's going to be, it looks like it's under, they are planning a financial lockdown. They are planning a financial lockdown. I can put it, as soon as I get a chance, I'll put it in the description box at the close of this stream. Let me see if I can tag it right here. It's on YouTube. It's a 22-minute video. Let me see if I can, if I can grab it. Okay, hold on one second. If I can grab it, I'll drop it right in here. I will drop it right in here. So yes, so it's Whitney Webb's. They're planning a complete financial lockdown. Whitney Webb's 2026 warning. So let me get that for you. Yeah, I have to go. I'm a Mac person, and sometimes I have to remember what in the world. What am I doing here? Let's see. Did I do? If I can add something in there. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's letting me add. Derek C. Williams says Catherine Austin Fitts is like that too. Yeah, I'm trying to, I don't know. I wish I could add this to the stream. I probably can go on. I can go through the back door. I can go through the back door and do it. Let's see. I'll put it in the stream, Derek C. Williams. Thank you guys so much for coming in and loving on that like button. I really appreciate that. It's so necessary. So Whitney Webb's geopolitical analysis. I'm going to drop it in just a second here. Okay. All right, so there you have it there, guys. I put that into the stream. It's another video. It's another video there. So let's see. I'll read a couple more comments and I'll get you guys out of there. So yeah, so I dropped in the Whitney Webb's piece for you guys. There you go. Perfect. All right, guys. So I just want to thank you guys so much for coming in and burning that whopping 37 minutes and 36 seconds with us today on Black Spring. And thank you guys for coming in and loving on the like button. It's very necessary. Realize. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And the prolific Derek C. Williams, I appreciate you very much as well. See, we had, of course, Anarchy Television to come in. And we also had, Flying Guillotine 22 to come in. Thank you guys so much for everything. I appreciate the loving on the like button. Placenta Pirate, thank you for coming in. And what else do we have there? I think that's going to wrap us up. Fred Chambers, 7030. Thank you so much for coming in and for all that you do. And Sequential Nomads, 1583, said work fair. And I think that's going to wrap us up, guys. Old Head Deuce, aka Old Head Deuce. Thank you guys so much. And I may see you guys later, but we'll have a great rest of your Wednesday until then. All right, guys. If not, I'll definitely see you later. But bye. Thank you. Bye for now.